Okay, let's talk about George Kittle. In this game, he had 10 catches, 10 targets, 8 catches, 83 yards, no touchdowns. Clearly, the last couple of weeks, the Niners have been making a concerted effort to get in the ball because I said so.
Right.
What do you think of Kittle?
I think I touched on it, but most of his yards came in garbage time. I hate to say that. It was nice to see him get the ball because they definitely need to do that, but they need to do it more and more early. But if I'm just remembering it right, I didn't look it up, but just by watching the game, I watched it twice. It seemed like a lot of his yards came in garbage time against a prevent defense. They threw it under, let him do his thing. He doesn't look as explosive as I've seen in the past, but it was still good to see him do his thing. That one touchdown with Jimmy, I honestly think I'm going to blame that on George Kittle. You could tell Jimmy pointed to the corner, and George Kittle came up to kind of like a basketball, kind of like seal out his guy, and then was going to go back. But Jimmy already threw it to the corner, and when George kind of went a little flat there. So it's not the same George and Jimmy that we've seen in the past, but I was glad to see him get some targets. Maybe he's getting his feet wet. Maybe he'll do better next time.
I mean, he's still a good player. I mean, he had 83 yards. He catches the ball. He doesn't drop the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He did fumble last week, but he didn't fumble this week. It's just he's, to me, not a dominant player anymore. And they're paying him to be dominant. Like, he hasn't broken a tackle this year. In the past, he used to break tackles routinely. I mean, it felt like every other game he would make someone look stupid. And now it's like, he catches the ball and he puts his head down and gets a couple yards after contact, but he's not embarrassing people the way he used to. And that's why he got paid. That's why they gave him the huge contract to play like that. And now he's playing, well. He's playing well. But, man, $16 million a year for a tight end. You don't score touchdowns. You don't break tackles. Good blocker, though. Great hands.
Is he at 0 touchdowns for the year still? He is, right?
I believe so.
Am I remembering that correctly?
Let me check that real quick.
Because if that's it, that's a shame. I mean, look at how the Chiefs use Travis Kelce. He had 25 total yards and 4 touchdowns.
0 touchdowns. And only 20 for his entire career, which is crazy. I mean, Vernon Davis used to have seasons where you have 10, 11 in a season.
Kelce's going to beat George Kittle's career touchdowns this year. Yeah, it's bad, man. And I'm not blaming all of that on George Kittle. A lot of it is, why aren't you targeting the biggest, strongest, best catcher on the field? Why aren't you doing that?
I've been asking that question since 2017. Like, why does Kyle feel he can't go to George Kittle in the red zone? That's so weird. Usually the tight end is the guy in the red zone.
Yes.
And I've never, Kittle, people want to say he's the best tight end in the league. Maybe, but he's never, the Niners have never put him in position to show that part of his game. And I want a tight end who catches touchdowns. Like, yeah, blocking's great. I love blocking and stuff. But I'll take Kelce all day. Are you kidding me? But maybe Kittle could do that if he were in Kansas City.
Yeah, George Kittle's not the best tight end in the league. At least he's not showing it. He might be the best blocking tight end in the league. But from a receiving standpoint, Kelce is head and shoulders above George Kittle. And maybe that's not George Kittle's fault. Maybe it's Kyle Shanahan. Maybe it's Jimmy. I don't know. But it's not even close.
If he's the best blocking tight end in the league, then why can't the Niners run the ball? Why they give up on the run game? So I don't know. Again, he's not a bad player and he does things well, but I don't think he's what he used to be. I don't think he's dominant. He just doesn't. When he used to get the ball in the open field, it was Debo. I mean, he was so violent. He was so exciting. Now it's like he'll get the space that Kyle created for him, and maybe 2 extra yards after contact. Great. Wonderful.
Well, since Kyle watches all your shows, Kyle, you need to target George Kittle in the end zone. Him and Ayuk should be your number 1 and 2 guys. So let's see it this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, Devin Smith says, don't be surprised if BA decides to leave. Yeah, but they pick up his 5th-year option. I mean, they have him for 2 more years. Things could happen in 2 years.
If they don't have Ayuk, Ayuk is like the only real receiver on the team right now.
Steven says Jimmy keeps throwing deep to Charlie Warner. What's up with that? Literally the worst player to throw deep to when it's already a struggle to throw 20 plus. I don't know. I don't know. If you want to do like the trick, because Kyle likes tricking you, right? It was originally Garrett Selleck. They used to call it Selleck time because he's so bad. But we did throw it to him. Well, that should be Dwelly. Mm-hmm. Dwelly doesn't drop the ball. Charlie Warner drops the ball. But I don't know. Kyle
Yeah.
only takes my suggestions up to a point.
I haven't seen anything from Warner yet that gets me excited. That's kind of a weird word. Pause, maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just
That's
haven't.
another thing. Like the word excited is, to me, has a sexual connotation, and they use that word all the time in football.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be back with my teammates. It's like, are you? Can't you find another word than excited? They say it all the time. So
Yeah.
excited to be here with my teammates. It's like, it's great, man. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I feel like
Think of new words moving forward.
I feel like Beavis and Butthead giggling when I hear that.